And Tampa Motormouth in the zone behind the microphone, all crazy all the time with a sports shuffle for this 4th of August, as that's one of those moments. Yes, it is the right date when it's being that kind of weekend, when you're working right there in retail and tax-free weekend. Yay! Oh. Alright, everybody, it's tax-free. Let's go out and get some whole bunch of stuff. Yowza. But anywho, after the thrills, chills, and tranquilizer pills, kiddingly on the tranquilizer pills, of course, as we get ready to look back at what was an interesting day in sports as far as baseball goes. And now, this is not an Olympic recap show. If you want Olympics, go elsewhere. I only talk about when crazy stuff happens, like badminton scandals. Badminton scandals? Really? Yeah. Right now it's baseball with fantasy football on the radar, kids, as 10 days until the sports shuffle draft and the work league draft that I'm in. That's the time of year when it's ready and steady and time to rock and roll. And everything all becomes about trades and the waiver wire Wednesday and Thursday. When you wake up, did I get the player? And then the following week or 2 weeks sort of pan out, and then you're wondering, were you happy that you got that waiver pickup? Or were you bum? But let's get right to baseball, as with the capsules and more of an explanation on why the Angels play the game under protest. We will then kick it over to Close Call Sports, and nice, I think, for a salute to the Brownsville Herald. So far, out of all of the sites that I've visited, the best format for baseball and what happened the previous night, because the others sort of a little bit of everything, little capsule here and there. I like the format, so nice job, guys. And yeah, nice to have a cough button. I like that. I like. Normally the cough button is okay. Hang on, pause, play. Yeah. So here we go. We got the Twitter up, rocking and rolling here, live edition. This is the under protest edition, as the Angels did play under protest, and we'll get more into what that means later on. But first, of course, concentrating on the AL. If you ask, well, what about the NL right now? Maybe September, close towards August, and also Tuesdays and Wednesdays, yours truly will be including the NL capsules, but for right now, until September, we'll be doing just the AL capsules. Just because it's like, as a Rays fan, that's what's most important to yours truly right now. As I am my own program director, I can choose exactly what I want to talk about. And one of the things I want to definitely talk about right now is, let's get to the AL capsules. And Harrison and Moreland lead the Rangers over the Royals, as in Kansas City. The Texas Rangers pitching staff, which has been beleaguered of late, needed a little bit of I don't know if injection is quite the right word I should use with baseball, but they needed something, and Matt Harrison was the man with the plan. Rangers starters up to this point had allowed 6 runs in each of the previous 4 games, but Harrison's strong start and Mitch Moreland's 3-run home run led the Rangers to a 5-3 victory over the Kansas City Royals on Friday night. Harrison, now 13-6, held the Royals to just 2 runs and 8 hits in 6 2/3 innings of home. Then going down. Let's see. Jeremy Guthrie held the Rangers, formerly of the Orioles, to 3 runs and 6 hits over 6+ innings. He is winless in his 3 Kansas City starts since being acquired in the July trade with the Colorado Rockies, where Jonathan Sanchez, forgot about the other trade. He's really with the Colorado Rockies. These trades happen so often. It's just like, he's not with that team anymore. He's with that team. Maybe I can see when you're doing fantasy or some kind of game, why you have Jeremy Guthrie might still have a picture of him in his Orioles uniform. Okay. The July 20 trade with the Colorado Rockies for Jonathan Sanchez, and has not won since May 31st against Houston. Boom, 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 boom. And some interesting notes Rangers-wise. Rangers closers Joe Nathan was unavailable Friday, and Ron Washington said he would probably not use him Saturday after Nathan threw 62 pitches to work an inning on each Wednesday and Thursday. He gave up 4 hits. He gave up 4 runs and 4 hits, including 3 home runs in the appearance against the Angels for the first time this season. Nathan allowed earned runs in consecutive games. So third baseman Double M Mike Moustakas was held out of the Royals lineup with a bone bruise, in his right knee. Moustakas aggravated Thursday by signing in second base against Cleveland. He first hurt his knee in a fielding play in the first inning at July 28th in Seattle. Right-handed pitcher Scott Feldman, who starts Saturday for the Rangers, has won 5 straight decisions after starting the season 0-6. The Royals will counter with rookie left-handed pitcher Will Smith. I wonder if, obligatory comment, he'll get jiggy with it, and his parents will understand. And slumping Josh Hamilton. Hey, yikes, that's a slump. These are some of the headlines and other AL capsules as we go beyond the Texas Rangers to the rest of AL and beyond. A little salute to Buzz Lightyear there. Sabathia and the Yankees finally stopped the Seattle Mariners. Did I say the Mariners? Sabathia pitched a 3-hitter, struck out 10, leading New York to a 6-3 victory Friday that stopped Seattle's 7-game winning streak. Chavez hit a 2-run homer, and Curtis Granderson had a 2-run single off of Kevin Millwood, sending the AL East leaders to their second consecutive win following a 3-9 slide. Sabathia now improves to 8-0 with a 1.20 ERA in his past 8 starts against the Mariners. Going into the 9th, Sabathia had only given up Casper Wells' solo homer with 1 out in the 4th, and Miguel Olivio's 8th inning double. He walked Brendan Ryan to start the inning before Dustin Ackley drove in his 8th homer to deep in the seats to right. That's when you gotta go deep. Ichiro Suzuki, a name you might well know, started a rally against his former team, and the Yankees helped Sabathia to improve 4-0 in his last 7 outings. Last in the AL West, Mariners had won 13 of 17 and were trying for their first 8-game winning streak in 5 years. They begin a 9-game trip. That takes them to Baltimore and Los Angeles. Eric Chavez became the 9th Yankee to hit 10 homers this season, 1 shy of the club record set in 1988. And if Blue Jays fans were wondering, well, how does it feel to play a 15-inning game, go forever, go into the wee hours of the morning, and then lose? Well, guess what? Y'all found out last night as the Oakland Athletics won in 15 innings for the second time this week with Jamel Weeks. Rays fans don't like him either. Hitting a leadoff triple and scoring on Coco Chris sacrifice. Easy for me to say. Sacrifice fly to beat Toronto. Weeks was the star Monday night too when his sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 15th beat Tampa Bay. Yeah, we know about that. Thanks, AP. The A's became first team to play a pair of 15-inning games in a 5-day span since the Los Angeles Dodgers did in 2006. The win took 4 hours and 47 minutes. Please, child, please. That was under 5. The victory over the Rays lasted more than 5 hours. Toronto lost it 6 in a row. Jeff Mathis hit a tying 3-run homer in the 9th for the Blue Jays. and Omar Vizquel was thrown out of the play at the 12th. Blue Jays manager John Farrell used a 5-man infield and also shifted his lineup after the designated hitter spot was lost. Aaron Loop, spelled L-O-U-P, became the first Toronto pitcher to bat in an American League game. That would be good for trivia. Travis Blackley, 4-3, pitched 3 innings for the win. In Tampa, of course, it was the Matt Moore show, at least for the first part of the game. And B.J. Upton was definitely a key part of that. Joined Elite Company in hitting his 100th career homer for Tampa Bay. Upton put the Rays ahead 1-0 with a 4th-inning homer off of Tommy Harper. Upton joins Ricky Henderson, Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds, Cedeno, Lloyd Mosley, Eric Davis, and Hanley Ramirez are the only players to amass 100 homers and 200 steals before age 28. Upton turns 28 on August 21st. His brother, Arizona's Justin Upton, hit his 100th career homer earlier in the night. Banner night for the Upton brothers at Philadelphia. Tampa Bay's Matt Moore, now finally over 500 at 8-7, improved to 7-2 his past 11 starts after giving up 6 hits in 5 1/3 innings. Fernando Rodney, the 4th Rays reliever, pitched into the 9th for his 32nd save. Desmond Jennings made it 2-0 on a solo shot in the 600, who had given up 26 homers this season, allowed 2 runs and 6 hits over 5 2/3 innings. And the poor Indians, as they end up losing to the Royals. And it continues. Tigers whoop on them. At least it's a good team, 10-2. Prince Fielder homer, drove in 4 runs, helping Anibal Sanchez win for the 5th time with Detroit. Fielder also hit a 2-run double. Sanchez 1-1, allowed 1 earned run in 6+ innings. The right-hander was acquired in a July 23rd trade with Miami. The Indians, whose designated outfielder Johnny Damon for assignment before the game, lost their 7th straight. Justin Masterson, 7-10, allowed 7 runs and 10 hits in 4 innings. He walked 4 and struck out 4. Fielder and Miguel Cabrera each had 3 hits for Detroit. Fielder's double in the 3rd inning went off the wall in right center. It gave Detroit a 3-1 lead. The Tigers broke the game open with 4 runs in the 4th. At least it was symmetrical. And another extra innings game, as we probably personally thank the Minnesota Twins for whooping up on the Red Sox. How does Bobby Valentine still have a job? Somebody actually replied on Twitter, because I asked that very question, and they were like, they don't have any other choices. That's why he still has a job. And it's like, yeah, okay. Well, rest of the league is fortunate for that circumstance. Twins 6, Red Sox 5 in 10 innings, as Minnesota's Jamie Carroll had 4 hits, including the go-ahead single in the 10th. Carroll and Justin Monroe both went 4 for 4. Monroe doubled twice and Carroll once. Darren Mastro, I'm going to spell this name, Mastroianni, led off the 10th with a double after third baseman Will Middlebrooks made a spectacular diving catch on a foul ball by Brian Dozier. Carroll singled off Vicente Paida for 1. Twins overcame an early 5-1 deficit and defeated the Red Sox for the 2nd straight night. Ooh, sweep. Possible sweep alert if they win today, because that's 2nd straight night. That'd be a 4-game series that they start Thursday. Jeff Gray, 6-1, pitched 1 1/3 innings for the win. Jared Burton picked up his 4th save in 6 chances. Carl Crawford, nice to see this again. Homer, doubled, singled, drove in 3 runs for the Red Sox. Twins starter Brian Dunsing went 6 innings and gave up 5 runs, only 2 earned. The Twins bullpen did not allow a run over the final 4 innings. Red Sox starter Felix DeBrant couldn't hold a 5-1 lead. He went 5 innings and allowed 5 runs and 8 hits. White Sox over the Angels with the last AL game, 8-6, as Alice Rio, definite walk-off hero, hit his 2nd homer of the game, a 2-run shot in the 10th inning to lift Chicago. Rios also hit a solo homer as the White Sox won their 3rd straight. Angels lost their 3rd straight with starters Zach Greinke roughed up for the 2nd start for his new team. Adam Dunn singled off a Hisanuro Takahashi, hopefully I said that right now, Winless with 3 losses to open the 10th. Pinch runner Jordan Danka stole second, and with 1 out before Rios hit his 18th home run. Matt Thornton, 4 and 6, pitched a scoreless 10th. A.J. Przinsky's 3-run homer highlighted a 4-run first for Chicago. Brinkley allowed 6 runs and 10 hits over 7th inning. Albert Pujols and Mike Trout homered for the Angels. Now, in case you were wondering why the Angels played under protest and have an interesting, how shall we say, ejection from the minor leagues, I'm sure you've all heard about that one. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim playing under protest. This from CloseCallSports.com, the Umpire Ejection Fantasy League. Tonight's Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim Chicago White Sox game is being played under protest by the Angels, filed by manager Mike Scioscia. The bottom of the first, with 3 on and none out, Paul Konerko grounded into a force out. Angels third baseman Alberto Calypso to catcher Chris Iannetta. White Sox R3 Alejandro De Aza at home. R2 Kevin Youkilis to third. R1 Adam Dunn to second. BR Paul Konerko to first. On the throw from Iannetta at home to first baseman Albert Pujols, the ball was thrown wide, pulling Pujols off of first base. Scioscia argued that Konerko was out of the 45-foot running lane to easy for me to say, fair territory side, but Konerko was ruled safe. For arguments with first base umpire Paul Narut and home plate umpire Lance Barrett and multiple umpire consultations, the call stood. So Scioscia then lodged a formal protest, to which the call to the press box was made during the half inning. Ooh, that's a serious protest. Crew chief Dana DeMuth directed Barrett to note the protest on the lineup card. According to the official reasoning by the Angels for the protest, they contend that Konerko was out of the 45-foot running lane. The Angels have 24 hours to file a follow-up and full report with the league office for protests to be considered. Judgment calls made by umpires are not calls that can be protested and be upheld by the league office. Only protests that are a result of a misapplication of a rule may be upheld. Unless the Angels' protest is more to it than the official explanation given, the protest will be denied, and since whether Konerko was in or not in the running lane is a judgment call. And an update: following the conclusion of the game, Scioscia spoke about the protest following the game. Let me read that again. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Following the conclusion of the game, Scioscia spoke about the protest following the game. Scioscia said, quote, "I know we're filing it with the league, and it's a very clear case in our favor. The umpires set the parameter and told us that Konerko was running well within the line. All of the umpires agreed with that. The dispute was not, was he running inside the box or outside the box? They all said he was well running within the line. He was inside the line, which makes it a virtual impossibility for him not to affect the throw from Iannetta and puts him in the lane of Iannetta trying to throw to first base very clearly. It's quite obvious. They put him there. They said he was inside the line, which puts him in jeopardy, which affects the throwing lane of our catcher. They're the ones who set the parameters. Once they set the parameters, Konerko is out." The Angels ultimately lost the contest to the White Sox, of course, in 10 innings with Alice Rios' walk-off home run. And the other interesting ejection from the minor leagues would be not a manager, not a player, not even a fan. How about this one? Excuse me, please. Sorry about that. That would be the old allergies doing the blitz package on the Tampa Motor Mouth there. But how about this one? From Single A Cubs game, home plate, and this happened Wednesday. I'm sure you've all heard about this. For home plate umpire Mario Seneca, hopefully I spelled that right, Seneca, ejected Daytona Cubs DJ Derek Dye for playing 3 blind mice after a close call at first base. And with none out, and that was from the Sports Ejections Twitter feed. With none out, this happened at 6:38 p.m. August 1st, roughly. With none out and none on at the top of the 8th inning in Wednesday's Florida State League contest, that's minor league baseball, between the Fort Myers Miracle and Daytona Cubs, Miracle batter Eddie Lear hit a ground ball off of Cubs pitcher Scott Wiseman to shortstop Tim Saunders, who threw low to first baseman Taylor Davis after Davis attempted to snare the dirt-bound ball, which at some point fell out of Davis's gloves. First base umpire Raymond Hernandez singled Davis had bobbled the ball, resulting in a throwing error charge to Saunders, and the batter Lear arrived at first base safely. As Cubs manager Brian Harper visited Hernandez to argue the lack of possession call, Daytona Cubs DJ intern Derek Dye queued up a baseball organ version of Three Blind Mice to play over the Jackie Robinson ballpark PA system. While Hernandez was engaged in with Harper, his partner, umpire-in-chief Mario Seneca, recognized the childhood tune and knew exactly what he had to do. And there's a link to the video. If only Dye, an intern from the University of Illinois, was more experienced and versed in stadium entertainment audio operations, he would have known that Three Blind Mice was a baseball no-no, a discipline-worthy offense backed by nearly 3 decades of precedent and past practice. There's a new one for you. You know, you've had fans thrown out, you've managers thrown out all the time, players thrown out all the time. How about an organ player? By the way, if you're ever an intern at any kind of baseball game and there's a bad call, apparently it's not a good idea to play Three Blind Mice. Anyway, as this is a shuffle quick play, that's it for you. You're still me. A whole lot of interesting action. Always nice to find out about crazy organ players getting thrown out. Yeah, that's nuts. Tampa Motormouth in the zone behind the microphone, all crazy all the time. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Sports Shuffle. Give me a like on Facebook, just Sports Shuffle, because I like it like that. We'll be planning again for sometime tomorrow, maybe a little bit later. And here's hoping, if you're out there somehow shopping in tax-free, please do not be a jerk, whether in traffic or in shopping. This has been Tampa Motormouth in the zone behind the microphone, all crazy all the time. You're you, I'm still me, and I am having to cue up the closing. Gone.